how to change the fuel pump and also test to see if the fuel pump's the bottom problem. So it's on the driver's side, and I've already taken this off once, so it was loose, but you just probably your screwdriver under there. Underneath there is the fuel pump. And you can see there's 4 wires that go into this, and then the actual fuel line itself. If you want to test this, there's a clip in the back that you take off, and the 2 smaller wires go to the pump. So you could take your voltmeter, stick it in here, and what I did is made sure I turned the key on, because the pump will come on as soon as the key is turned on for a bit to prime it. You want to look, I had 10 volts to here. I'm assuming you're supposed to have 10 to 12 volts. And so I knew that it was getting power here. And so what I did is I took a wire and plug and put one here and here and hooked it to my car charger and tried to jump it, and I didn't hear anything from the pump. So I was pretty sure at that point that the pump was bad. Despite the fact that this is a 2015. So basically what I did is went to, as you can see, this is CarQuest, so I went to Advanced Auto, got a new pump, and before I did anything, I hooked the new pump to this, turned the key on, and heard the pump immediately. So at that point I knew my pump was bad. All right, so once I had the pump out, and I'm not going to take it out again, I should have done this before, but basically to get the pump out, there's, you can see these right here, hopefully. You just hit these with the screwdriver to the side, and you'll hit it clockwise to get it out. And basically that moves the ring around, I'm sorry, you'll hit it counterclockwise. You want the ring to move counterclockwise to get it out so that these go into the bigger. And then the pump just comes out, and it's on a spring. You almost have to, you probably have to empty the tank, the fuel tank, to get the new pump in, just because of the way this thing works is it compresses. So it tries to compress the fuel, and obviously you can't do that. So I tried to put the old one back in just to close up the hole. And had lots of challenges, and I was a little bit worried I wouldn't be able to get the new one in, but because I wanted to clean the fuel tank out and stuff like that, I went ahead and emptied the fuel tank. And really used a simple method to empty the fuel tank. I went to Home Depot, and they were out of regular siphons, so I grabbed this little thing, and it's made for removing water, really, but it hooks to your drill, spins it out. They give you 2 hoses with it, as you can see. It worked actually pretty good. I got about 5 gallons out of this tank in about 10 minutes, maybe a little less. So, you know, I was pleasantly surprised by that. So I'm gonna, as you can see, I haven't finished putting this ring in, so I'm gonna finish putting this ring in. I'm gonna put the seat in. I've already started it to make sure it works, so it works good. To get the seat out, there's 2 bolts. There's a bolt down here and a bolt down there. And they're T55, so torque 55 volts. I had to go to Home Depot and buy a kit because I didn't have one that big. And then once you get the seat, just comes right out after that. And then there's a piece of underlayment here that goes on top that just folds off. And then, as you saw, you pop this out. Now, one thing I want to comment on, I'll go to the front of this. So when I came out, it just wouldn't start. It would just sit there and spin and spin and spin, and when you turn the key on, it doesn't stop spinning until you turn the key off, and that's intentional. But I was trying to figure out, and yeah, I took all this plastic off when I was troubleshooting. So really there's a plastic overlayment here, and then one that goes over here to your intake. But I was trying to figure out what the problem was, and how I figured it out. The easiest way I figured it out to tell if it was a gas problem and not like a fire and ignition problem or anything else was I unscrewed this. And then I took a can of starter fluid and just sprayed it in there while I had somebody turn it over, and sure enough, it ran. So the next thing I did is I pulled this clip off, and as you can see, this is the injector, and this is the hose to the fuel tank, but I pulled this clip off, and then I had somebody turn it over, and no fuel was coming out. So at that time, I was pretty sure that it was a fuel problem. I did check before I even went, you know, to taking the fuel off. There's a couple of relays that are way down in here, and everybody says you got to take the fender off to get to them, but I don't know if I can show you or not, but this is right there is the cover to them. And you're able, zoom in a little bit there, you're able to get to that cover and pull, there's 5 relays in there, and you're able to get to that cover, pull them out, see if they're corroded or anything. I went ahead and sprayed some WD-40 in there to see if there was water in there, because we've had a lot of rain and I drove through some big puddles before. But it didn't stop during the puddles, it stopped after I came out of church one day. So that's basically the gist of it. I've actually got the old, I took it apart just playing with it. I got the old one. Right, here's what the old fuel pump looks like. Basically, you know, when you're taking this out, there's a line that goes down here that you have to pull the clip out. It's a little bit different one that I haven't seen before. But you can see the pump hooks to here, and then this is the fuel sending unit. So that's why jumping, if you jump these two, you know, as I showed you in the other one, you'll be able to see if this thing goes or not. I was actually surprised that on a 2015, this thing's got probably 40 maybe thousand miles on it, that the fuel pump was out already. Yeah, I looked at the filter, I took this out, the filter had a little bit of dirt in there, but nothing to cause it to fail. So I see stories all over the internet of them going bad. So that's the gist of doing this and troubleshooting. And really, that's about all I can show you. Hope this helps somebody. Thanks.